need for home decorating, including lots of great advice. West Side Decorating Center. Good morning to you on a Tuesday morning. I had to think about that because normally I would sit here and say good morning on a Monday morning, begin the week, but yesterday was Memorial Day. So today we are back in the saddle on this Tuesday, the 27th of May already. It seems like yesterday the month just began and it's already winding down. Oh well. Later on, after the 10 o'clock news, we'll talk to Dr. Angela Seabright from Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan. Apparently, this is Teen Self-Esteem Month. At 11 o'clock, the Rock Center for Youth Development will be our subject on Focus. We are attempting to get a hold of our guest this hour, but no luck so far. So we will have open phones at 989-752-6111 to get the week started, or the delay in the start of the week. The late start of the start. How's that? There we go. Anyway, yeah, you can give us a call, and when we get a hold of the guest, we'll just interrupt the calls for a short period of time to talk to our guest. I don't know if you happened to listen or watch the baseball game yesterday, but there was a rare occurrence. And that occurrence was Javier Baez being tossed out of the game by the umpire, Phil Cousy. It was a bad call. Let's start with that. The umpire missed the call. And Baez, like most do, called him on it. And they had a little heated argument. And Baez turned around to walk away, and that was going to be the end of it. But then he turned around and came back again, and that's when he got dumped. And, of course, Hinch came out but didn't make it in time to prevent the ejection. And it appears, from everything I've read about it, and, you hear one side, you hear the other side, Baez was not so much the fact that the call was missed, but he says it's the way the umpire treated him. So it's, who knows what's going to happen. Undoubtedly, the league will have something to say in the way of a fine for Javi, but on we go. Question is, will the umpire acknowledge that he made a mistake? And not too often does that happen. But next year, maybe the ball and strike challenge will be in place. Now, I have to tell you, as a baseball fan, I'm not a fan of the ball strike challenge. I'm a fan of human umpires calling the game and making mistakes. And I really don't care if an umpire makes a mistake as long as it is a consistent mistake. A ball like the one Baez complained about was low and outside, should not have been a strike. But if he called that pitch on everyone the same way, you get to know what his strike zone is, and you adapt. Some umpires have a very tight strike zone. Others have a looser strike zone. But as long as they're consistent, you can live with it. And that's true of any sport. Football, same thing. As long as the calls, the penalties are consistent, then you can live with it because you know what to expect. So anyway, let's head to the phones. And Carl is in Saginaw to start us out this morning. Carl, good morning.
Good morning, Art. Yesterday I was in a park and there was a man putting out American flags around a small memorial. Mm-hmm. And I talked to him for a little while. His son was killed in Iraq 19 years ago.
Wow.
And yeah, can you imagine? And his son was 19 years old when he died. and now it's been 19 years
Yeah.
since his death.
Well,
And
we owe him a lot.
we do. Yeah, I just feel so sorry for that man. He just.
Well, I feel
You could
sorry
just
for
see-
any Gold Star parent. Losing a child in any circumstance is bad. Losing them in war,
Yeah.
then having the notification show up at your door is never a good thing.
Yeah.
So
I can't imagine that.
our hearts go out to
what?
him.
Yes. Did you see the news about the penny, the coin,
Yeah.
the penny?
It's like they're going to stop producing it.
That they're going to stop making more pennies. I saw that part of the news, but I didn't hear a whole lot about what's going to happen next. As far as are they going to?
I have no idea. Didn't hear a thing. You're absolutely right. Did not hear a thing about it. I don't know
As
what's
far
going to
as
happen.
are they going to be in? Are they going to be in circulation? Are some stores going to just stop accepting them? Or I
Well,
just
I'll
don't
bet
know
what's
going to
happen is prices will adjust and you won't see any pennies. Now, the problem is a lot of states, because they have odd penny taxes, it's going to be interesting. I don't know.
Well, I think in Canada, they either round it up or round it down, to the nearest nickel.
Yeah, it's possible something like that.
Cash register just does it automatically.
Yeah.
And
It
but
probably happened.
I also heard something they were talking about. They said about 40% of people today are cashless. They do not.
Yeah,
And I find that hard to believe, but
I don't.
apparently a
Oh,
lot
I
of
don't. I
people
know a lot of people who don't carry cash
at
I
all.
know, at all. Maybe in their wallet there's an emergency bill of some kind, but they do everything on a card. I mean, all you have to do
Or
is
on their phone.
go into a convenience store like a 7-Eleven and stand by the register and see how many people put their card in the machine versus people that actually hand over cash. I'll bet you'll find those numbers are darn close. So
Yeah, I was at a farmer's market a few days ago, and here's this little guy with a picnic table, like selling homemade honey,
yep.
and he's got a credit card reader
Yeah.
right there.
Yeah, well, it's
You know?
easy today. All right. Hey,
Yeah,
I got to
I
run.
guess. Well,
Got to
okay,
run.
thanks, Art.
Yep. Take care. Bye-bye now. All right, we're going to take a break. Scott, hang on, and Jim, hang on. We'll get to you guys right after this. Let me talk about my friends at McDonald Ford in Freeland. They anticipated the uncertainty of the tariffs. And because of that, in anticipation of the tariffs, McDonald Ford stocked their lot with tariff-free vehicles and have many en route. Now, not only are these tariff-free, but Ford is offering employee pricing for everyone, and they've extended that through July 6th. And what does that mean? Well, you pay the same price as Ford employees. In addition, Chrysler and import buyers considering a Ford, you receive the lowest price offered. Chevy truck buyers can now look at the Ford F-150, the best-selling pickup in America, and get one at employee pricing. So you see, now is the right time to visit McDonald Ford M47 in Freeland for the best selection, lowest possible price, and they have great financing. Don't let tariffs prevent you from getting the vehicle of your choice at a price you can afford. Visit McDonald Ford in Freeland today, and remember, tariff-free and employee pricing for everyone.
Rocket Grab Plus.
Here on the Art Lewis Show, get back to our phones. In Saginaw, we find Scott this morning. Scott, good morning to you.
Hey, morning, Art. I just took a few weeks here just to kind of listen and watch what's going on with politics. And I think what's pretty obvious to me is the Democratic Party just simply opposes everything of Trump.
Oh, yeah, that's
You know,
well known. Absolutely.
And what I've seen is we have, I'm going to say it, lunatic left-wing judges that are hiding and helping illegals right in front of ICE agents. We have it on camera. We have other left-wing lunatic elected officials attacking our ICE agents.
Let me just stop you for a minute because you're using words that really don't matter. They're not lunatics. They don't believe what you believe, but that doesn't make them lunatics.
Okay, Art. We have completely sane, rational Democrats.
I didn't say that either, did I?
Well,
I just said don't call them lunatics.
You're either sane or you don't attack. A normal person doesn't attack the police. Okay? So I'm just calling it what it is. A lunatic attacks the police.
Oh.
Rational people don't do that. They don't, Art.
Yeah, if you take an individual and assign that term to them for something they did, okay, but you said all Democrats.
I said lunatic. I did. I said lunatic left-wing elected officials.
Well, you see, that's not true. All elected officials aren't lunatics.
There was 3 lunatic left-wing officials that attacked ICE agents.
Then specify that.
I did. I called them left-wing lunatics. I did specify that, Art. That's what they are. I'll specify this. We have an ex-FBI director who's a lunatic who's writing, "Let's assassinate Donald Trump." And he says, "Oh, I just thought somebody was writing an address in the sand."
Yeah, right.
Come on. Now, that's not a rational person. No. A lunatic calls for the assassination of people. So I'm going to call them what they are, Art. And that's what I've been watching. We have other lunatic left-wing board members who are fighting to put penises in the girls' locker room. And that's what they are, because a rational person doesn't want little girls and little boys changing together.
All right.
And so that's how I'm going to call it, Art, and that's how I see these people. They're just, the only thing they fight for is the illegals right now and penises in the girls' locker room. And on a point on that, when these left-wing people keep saying that these transgenders are the same and they're equal, you will never hear of a girl becoming a boy saying, "Boy, that's going to be the next Michael Jordan there."
Yeah.
You never hear that.
Listen, I'm with you on that one. They don't belong anywhere near girls' sports. I can't imagine, just volleyball, for example. I can't imagine a transgender male spiking a ball to a little girl on the other side of the net and not injuring her. I can't believe that. To me, it's ludicrous. It just makes no sense.
See, there's the word. Ludicrous, lunatic. We're on the same page.
Well,
I'll let it go.
Yeah, you can call it your way. All right.
I'll talk to you later.
Thanks. Bye-bye now. Let's talk to Jim in Midland. Jim, good morning.
Good morning, Art. It's Tim, Slim, Jim, whatever. Just call me.
Okay.
Hey, no problem.
Sorry.
I wasn't going to talk. I wasn't going to talk politics, but I got to defend something here. You're the last caller there. I could pull up a dozen things Trump has said that would make him a lunatic.
Yeah, that's probably true. His mouth is his worst enemy.
I mean, okay, you want to say? I mean, he says some ridiculous, outlandish, bombastic things, and they are lunatic phrases. Okay. But I support most of the things he says. But I mean,
yeah, but his mouth is his biggest problem. Always has been.
So I'm not making excuses. Don't make excuses, Art.
No, I'm not making
says
excuses.
Lunatic things. Okay, he says lunatic things. So I mean, got it. I mean, it comes from both sides. Okay,
yeah.
The guy says some ridiculous things, and he's in a position where he shouldn't be saying ridiculous things.
Oh, I don't.
I
agree.
Seriously.
That's why I've said
don't
for
say
years.
Ridiculous lunatic things.
That's
okay?
why I've said for years. That's why I've said for years and years and years. While I like a lot of his policies, I don't like the man, and it's because of his mouth. I grew up in New York City, so I knew about him a long time ago.
100% agree. But I wasn't calling about that. What I was calling about was you're talking about the balls and strikes there in the baseball game.
Yeah.
It is how long is it before they come to AI? It's like AI can call that 100% of the time.
Yeah.
What a ball and strike is. 100%.
I just, here's the way
Do we ever get rid of it?
Here's the way I look at it. I think baseball and all sports are human endeavors, both from the offensive and defensive side and the adjudication side. I just don't want to see machines take over the game. That's me. Yep. I like the fact that umpires call balls and strikes. Now, are they accurate all the time? Of course not. But that's part of the game.
Yep. But it leads to the bigger picture as 3 years, 5 years from now, what is still going to exist as far as human endeavors, and what is not, and we're going to have to make a choice.
I think
because some of these jobs they're going to be gone. If you're sitting in a back office right now working on an Excel spreadsheet, you better start looking for a new job because that is going to be gone.
I think
AI is going to come through in a wave really fast.
I think we're going to have to learn. We're going to have to learn to live with AI, and allow it to do what we want, but no more. And I don't know what that is yet. Well, I don't know what the line in the sand is.
Yep. Well, we haven't drawn it.
We haven't.
We don't have a line in the sand. We don't know. We don't know. So I think it's going to hit, and it's going to hit really fast. And there's going to be I think you're going to see a wave. People are going to be out of work and out of careers, and then it's going to be like a rebound. Going, oh wait, this is not good.
Well,
so what do we do?
Here's the way I equate it. I equate it to automation. You can run a factory today with far less people. AI is going to be the same. You'll be able to do a lot of office things with less people.
I thought the same thing, too, yeah. If you look at a factory now, there's a fraction of the people in there that used to be. So, yep.
Oh, well.
It's coming. It's coming.
Whether we like it or not.
Yep, exactly.
All right. Thanks. Have a good one.
Take care.
Take care. Bye-bye now.
You too.
Now, that is something that needs to be in the forefront of discussion. I mean, there's a lot of talk about AI, but you don't really hear the serious talk about how are we going to use it, what limitations do we put on it, can we put limitations on it, or are we just going to live in an AI world where the machines dictate? We've already seen misuse. You know, people are using it. They're not plagiarizing. They're having the machine write their papers for them, having the machine tell them what to do. I don't know the answer. And we have not drawn that line in the sand yet where we say, AI, you can't cross this line. I don't know what that line is. So, time will tell. Dave is in Midland. Dave, good morning to you.
Hey, good morning, Art. Good to talk to you.
Same here.
Yeah, well, I got an answer for where your AI and your automated workforce come together.
Well, then you're brighter than me. Go ahead.
Well, you do it too. You drive your tour buses. I drive a truck.
I used to, yeah.
I've got a camera in my truck right now that uses the AI software, and it's using what I do on a daily basis to teach it what's acceptable, if you call my driving acceptable. No, it is to what I'm doing on a normal basis down the road, and we're teaching this AI right now. Mm-hmm. When you hit the agree button on all your apps and stuff, and you're using this, you're teaching that blooming thing. And when they finally get these automated vehicles working properly that won't end up down a 2-lane dirt road and a traffic jam, they'll combine that information together, and I'm going to be out of a job. The tour buses industry is going to be out of a job, because they will have finally perfected this with what we're teaching the AI stuff through the software and cameras that are just everywhere.
I think there'll be some of that. I don't think, this is just my guess, I could be totally wrong, but I don't think we'll ever take the driver out of the seat of a motor coach. Not because he's going to be doing the operating of the coach, but because he's the safety. I think you have to have that. It's going to be a long time before we can walk away from your truck or my old motor coach and say, goodbye, you're on your own. Now there are autonomous trucks out there that they're working on. And in San Francisco, there are autonomous taxi cabs that don't have any drivers. And they seem to be working well, but I'm not me. I want to get in one with a driver. I'll call
You
an
and
Uber.
I both. You and I both. I don't want to be going down the road with them,
No.
but you and I are at the age where, the thought of that 10 years ago was just,
Well,
humorous.
you didn't, yeah.
Yeah, and like you guys say, it's going to come on fast. It's going to come on strong, and a line needs to be drawn. But if we don't do that soon and say, "Hey, look, here's where the limit's got to be," I don't know where that. We got to leave it to these bright people that we have building this stuff, and hope that they have the common sense. Which,
Well, no, they're bright enough to build it. I don't know if they're bright enough to restrict it because they want to see how much it can do. So,
Yep.
All right, Dave, I got to take a break.
That's my 2 cents.
Glad-
Thank you, sir. Have a good day.
Thank you. You too. Bye-bye now. And we will be back. Lines open for you.
Looking to make a difference in your
Recipe exchange kind of thing in a gab session. What happened was the internet came along. And now you didn't have to call in for the recipe. You could find a dozen versions of it online. And so we saw what was happening, and we knew that eventually it was going to have to be retired. We had 11 cookbooks, and it was a good run. But like everything else, life goes on. All right. Got to run out.
Okay, thank you.
Yep, bye-bye. All right, 989-752-6111. Listen, and it's funny, we've been talking a lot about the 75th anniversary of WSGW. And realistically, you can't do that without talking about Listen to the Missus. Because it was around for, 50 years? No. 30 some odd years. 30. No, it was around about 50 years. Yeah, I'm trying to think of when we stopped doing it. So it was around a little over 50 years. That's a long time for a radio show. And had a big following, and I acknowledge that. We were, pleased to do it. We had 11 cookbooks. But its time had come and gone. And, will we pay tribute to it during this celebration of the 75th? Of course. Matter of fact, I'm thinking about how I can get Sue and Ann Williams together and talk about it. But as far as the show ever coming back, no, its day had come and gone. But we appreciate all the thoughts, because I tell you what, for some reason, and maybe it's because we're celebrating the 75th, I've run into a lot of people lately that say, I miss Listen to the Missus. So listen, it's one of the things that made this a legacy station. And we will forever love the fact that we had it. All right, I got to take a break, and we'll come back with more calls.
Hey, it's Charlie Rood here.
All right, we're back with you here on WSGW. Back to our phones, and I could have bet on this call. Carol is in Sheridan. Carol, good morning.
Yeah, I almost missed you. I was down in the bedroom trying to find a greeting card, and I didn't. Hey, one thing, and of course we listen to them. It was cool. It was really neat. I'm sure. Everybody enjoyed it. I was always wondering, you tell about old artists, and wasn't Jimmy Dickens from Saginaw, Little Jimmy
Dickens, I think so.
And I've never heard about him. And, does the chewing gum lose its flavor on the bedpost overnight? And he had a lot of cute songs.
Yeah.
You never heard that?
No, I heard it. Yeah, no, I did hear it. But I thought I heard he was from Saginaw, but I'm not 100% positive. Although
everybody, you mentioned all these other artists, and I never hear his name come up. So
just a minute now. Just a minute here, and let me. Now that you've, roused my curiosity.
That's me too. I've always been. I never would take a nap when I was little because I always figured I was going to miss something. I'm always too curious.
Yeah, well,
it can get you in mischief, right?
Let me see here. His name was James Cecil Dickens. And he was born in 1920 and died in 2015. Wow, long life. Early life. No, he was born in Bolt, West Virginia. And according to this anyway. And I don't see anything in here about Michigan.
I wonder why I thought about that. Maybe.
I don't know. Oh, here we go. Here we go. This is why. In 1948, Dickens was heard performing on WKNX in Saginaw while on location at Buck Lake Ranch, Angola, Indiana. Roy Acuff introduced him to Art Satherley at Columbia Records, and it took off from there. So that's the Saginaw connection. He was heard here on the radio.
Okay. And I tell you, in Billy Strings, people who are not familiar with Billy Strings is just phenomenal. I don't know. He's from Lyons Muir. He's made it really big in Nashville. He opened one of the big shows. He opened shows for people. But his name is Billy Strings. And if anybody wants to really hear somebody that's talented in this day and age, hunt up Billy Strings. He's got a couple albums and young kid. He's like 25 or something. But
all right.
Amazing. It's bluegrass. Mostly bluegrass.
Yeah.
But really, I mean, he's
okay.
Really, Billy.
Carol,
Billy
I'm going to have to interrupt. I got to run here. All right.
Okay, go run.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, Debbie, hang on. I want to talk first to Matt Edens from the Michigan Antique Festival. Matt, good morning.
Good morning, Terry.
It's Art. You there?
Thanks. Yeah, thanks for having me.
Okay. So the Michigan Antique Festival, back for another year. Starting when?
This weekend, so Saturday and Sunday. Come on out to the Midland County Fairgrounds. We'll be out here all weekend long.
What time the gates open?
8 a.m. on Saturday and 9 a.m. on Sunday. It's $10 for a weekend pass.
And that's a weekend pass, so you can go both days.
That's correct. You come on out Saturday, you get a weekend pass. Parking's free, kids are free, and just spend the weekend with us.
And, suffice to say, hundreds of dealers, at least.
Oh, we have hundreds of dealers, thousands of items, and these people come from all over the country, and they bring items from all over the world for us to see.
And what about the automotive side of things?
This will be one of the biggest automotive swap meets we've ever had, and we're also going to be debuting the Quarter Mile Car Show. So you'll see a quarter mile long worth of car show cars, DJ, cash prizes. So, bring your classic car out, spend the day with us, and, maybe you'll take home a trophy.
And all of this at the Midland Fairgrounds this Saturday, this Sunday. And this is the first of, 3 at the fairgrounds? There's usually a midsummer and a fall.
Well, we do 2 this year. So this is our spring debut show.
Okay.
Correct. And then we'll do one at the end of September as well.
Wow, so that's the fall show.
If you can't make this one, that'll be the fall show.
Excellent. So give everybody again the hours and the cost.
Yeah, this Saturday from 8 to 6, $10 for a weekend pass, and then Sunday is 9 to 4 at the Midland County Fairgrounds.
Fantastic. Folks, if you like antiquing, this is the place to be. We'll look for you there. All right, Matt. Thanks.
Yeah, thanks again.
You bet. Bye-bye now. Matt Edens from the Michigan Antique Festival this weekend at the Midland County Fairgrounds. And we say good morning to Debbie in Saginaw. Debbie, good morning to you.
Good morning. It's nice to talk to you.
Same here.
And I really miss listen to the misses because I mean the recipes, getting a recipe online is totally different than someone saying, hey, this is a hit, but what I'm calling about are, I travel around Michigan, and I cannot believe the difference in the gas prices, and I'm wondering if anybody knows why. I mean, even if you go out to Bridgeport, it's like
much less.
Cheap. Yeah. And like I was in the Detroit area, it was $2.87. It's $3.39 here.
Yeah.
And I'm just wondering why.
Well, there's lots of answers. I don't have the exact one. One of them is competition. In the Bridgeport area, the competition drove it. But you know what's funny about